On Christmas Day, my parents shoved a one-way ticket into my hand and told me, "Take care of yourself," and walked back into the living room like nothing had happened. I remember staring at that piece of paper, my fingers shaking, my chest tightening, and wondering how my life could go from holiday dinners and family photos to being thrown out like I didn't even belong there. And the craziest part is, I still don't know whether I was wrong for what I did afterward. Maybe you'll tell me, maybe you'll understand, because honestly, if your parents handed you a ticket and basically told you to disappear, what would you do? Was I wrong for how I reacted? Tell me if you would have done the same thing. It didn't start on Christmas morning. It started way before, but I was too blind or maybe too hopeful to see it. I grew up in a home where keeping appearances mattered more than anything. My mom loved hosting people, loved showing off the perfect family image, the decorations, the matching sweaters, the smiles that didn't reach our eyes. My dad was quieter, but when he spoke, it was law. You didn't argue with him, you didn't question him. You followed the script, and for most of my childhood I did. I was the good kid. The one who got good grades, who didn't party, who didn't fight, who didn't do anything that might make them look bad. But the thing about being the good kid is, the moment you stop being perfect, you stop being lovable. Everything changed earlier that year when I decided to take a break from college. I was drowning in coursework, dealing with anxiety I didn't understand, feeling like I was running a race I never signed up for. When I told my parents I needed a semester off, I expected concern or maybe disappointment, but I wasn't prepared for the coldness. My mom's exact words were, "People are going to think you're unstable," and my dad said, "You don't get to quit things." They weren't worried about me. They were worried about how I made them look. I tried to explain that I wasn't quitting. I just needed time to breathe, to figure things out. But they never listened, they only judged, and somehow the tension didn't stay at tension. It grew into something bigger, something ugly. I got a job at a cafe during my break. It wasn't glamorous, but it gave me routine and a sense of purpose. But my parents hated it. They acted like working a normal job was humiliating. Every time I came home, my mom would say something like, "You smell like coffee," or "This is temporary, right? You're going back to school immediately." My dad barely spoke to me. I slept in my childhood room, feeling like a stranger in a museum, like I wasn't supposed to touch anything. Every day, the air felt thicker and thicker, until coming home felt like walking into a cage. Then December came. And with it, their annual Christmas obsession. My mom spent weeks planning the perfect family dinner because everyone important was coming. I helped with decorations, cooking, cleaning anything I could. To keep the peace, I tried. I really tried. But 2 days before Christmas, everything cracked. It was something small, something stupid. I came home late after covering someone's shift, and my mom snapped. She yelled that I didn't care about the family, that I was selfish, that I was embarrassing them. My dad joined in, telling me I needed to get my life together. I argued back for the first time in years, telling them I wasn't ashamed of my job, that I needed space, that I was trying to heal. And I swear, the way they looked at me like I had ruined their entire existence by having a normal human emotion. They didn't talk to me the entire next day, so Christmas morning, I woke up trying to pretend things were okay. I got dressed, came downstairs, smelled the holiday food, saw the lights glowing, heard the Christmas music playing, and forced myself to smile. I wished them Merry Christmas. They looked at me with these stiff, polite smiles. I should have realized then that something was wrong. My mom handed me a small wrapped box. I thought maybe they were trying to make up for the fight. Maybe we could pretend to be okay. But when I opened it, it wasn't a sweater or a pair of socks or something sentimental. It was an envelope. Inside was a plane ticket, a one-way ticket to another state. My dad said, "We think it's best if you take some space to figure things out." My mom added, "You can stay with Aunt Laura for a while. She'll help you find work, get stable, and then, well, you can decide your future." I remember blinking, not understanding. "You're sending me away?" I asked. My dad replied calmly, like he was discussing the weather. "You made it clear you don't want to follow our expectations, so we're giving you independence." Independence, that's what they called it. They didn't hug me. They didn't say they'd miss me. They didn't ask what I wanted. They shoved the ticket in my hand like a problem they were shipping off, and then they went back to chopping vegetables like nothing had happened. I walked into my room, sat on my bed, and stared at the walls I grew up with. Every poster, every book, every childhood toy suddenly felt like it wasn't mine anymore. I wasn't being encouraged to find myself. I was being discarded. I packed a suitcase in silence. No one came to check on me. No one asked if I needed help. When I dragged my bag downstairs, my parents were hosting guests, laughing like they hadn't just exiled their child. My mom gave me a quick side. "Hug," my dad said, "take care of yourself." And then they turned away. That was the moment something broke inside me. I walked out of the house and didn't look back. But here's where the story gets messy, because maybe what I did afterward wasn't right. Maybe it was petty, maybe it was revenge, or maybe it was justice. You tell me. A few hours after leaving, I checked my phone and saw I had access to all the shared accounts they never bothered removing me from. Streaming accounts, cloud storage, family planning apps, everything. But the one that caught my eye was the home security app connected to all their cameras. And something in me snapped. These people kicked me out on Christmas Day just to protect their image, so why should I protect theirs? I opened the app. I watched them laughing with guests, accepting compliments about their perfect home. A home I wasn't welcome in. And that's when I remembered something. A folder in the cloud storage labeled Christmas 2021 Redo. I had seen it months earlier, but never opened it because it felt private. But now, I clicked, and inside were photos. Photos of our family from Christmas 2021, but not the ones we took. These were staged, posed, photoshopped. They had replaced me with my perfect cousin in all the pictures. Literally cut me out. They had gone through the effort of erasing me from a family memory because I apparently didn't smile nicely enough. That year, I stared at the screen feeling sick. They had been removing me from their lives long before the plane ticket. I copied the folder to my phone. Then I went back to the security app. I wasn't planning something dramatic. At least not at first. I just wanted to see the house from the outside one last time. But then I saw movement in the living room camera. My parents were talking to my aunt, the one I was supposedly being shipped to, and my aunt was saying, "You know she can stay with me, but are you sure this is necessary?" My mom said, "She's too emotional, too dramatic. She'll ruin things if she stays here." My dad added, "She needs to learn consequences. This is for her own good." The way they talked about me like I wasn't a person, something deep inside me twisted. So that's the situation I was in. And I had to make a choice. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause for a second and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you walk away quietly? Would you expose them? Would you confront them seriously? What would you have done? Because here's what I did. I used the cloud folder. I posted the photos online without mentioning names. Just saying, imagine your family photo shopped you out of Christmas and then kicked you out. It went viral. People flooded the comments saying parents like that didn't deserve kids. I didn't expose my parents' identities, but somehow, the people at their Christmas party recognized the house and the decorations and started whispering. Later, I heard my mom was confronted by one of the guests who asked, "Is it true you edited your own child out of family photos?" My parents panicked. They desperately tried calling me. I didn't answer. Then came the climax. 2 days later, I finally picked up when they called again. My mom was furious. How could you embarrass us like that? She yelled. I laughed, actually laughed, and said, You kicked me out on Christmas Day, replaced me in photos, and lied to everyone about why I left. I didn't embarrass you. You embarrassed yourselves. My dad tried to take the phone and said, Come home, we need to talk. I told him, Home, I don't think I have one anymore, and then I hung up. A week later, my aunt offered me her guest room, not out of obligation, but out of real care. She said she had no idea what my parents had been doing to me emotionally, and that I deserved better. I got a new job. I started therapy. I began building a life without feeling like a disappointment every time I breathed wrong. And the craziest thing, I'm happier now. I smile without forcing it. I wake up without fear. I don't feel like a ghost in my own life anymore. As for my parents, their perfect image cracked. People in their social circle started distancing themselves. My mom deleted her social media for a while. My dad stopped hosting events. They still text me sometimes, but it's always about how I misunderstood their intentions. Their intentions were loud and clear, so here I am months later telling this story, trying to make sense of it, trying to understand if what I did was too much, or if it was the only way to finally stand up for myself. Maybe my actions weren't gentle, maybe they weren't polite, but I think they were necessary if you were on my side like this video. If you understand why I did what I did, hit that subscribe button for more stories like this, and tell me your final thoughts in the comments. Was I wrong, or was this the only way to finally break free? Thanks for listening to my story. I'll see you all in the next one.